In this lesson, we'll create envelope objects for the face. For facial animation, you may commonly find that a skin morph modifier is used with preset shapes, but why not give the animator a control to animate the face however they like without having to rely on preset parameters or a predetermined shape? Just give them a control they can just drag and basically use to create some really interesting expressions. So that's the approach we're going to take with this. But with that said, I'm not against the skin morph modifier at all because you can do incredible things with it. So again, we're just taking a look at another alternative that we have for creating facial controls. To get started, I'm just going to go to the layer manager and unfreeze the character. From there, let's go ahead and turn off X-ray. We'll also press F4 so we can snap our envelope objects where we need them to go. So we're basically making brow controls here. We'll make 3 for each brow, and that includes the brow geometry as well. So to get started, again, we'll go to our create panel and we can create a point helper. With it made, I'm going to go ahead and quickly snap it to our head control, move this over and move it up. Now we can modify our snap settings so we can snap this in place. So this first one, we basically want it to go right at the front of the brow here. So going to the snap options, we can go ahead and turn on center face and turn off grid points. So what we have on, of course, is pivot and center face. We can close that out. Activate the snap tool, and now we can drag this helper right to where we want it to be. Right at the front of the brow. Okay, so we can turn off the snap. From here we can bring this up a little bit more and bring it over so it's a little bit better centered. What I also like to do is head over to the modify panel and turn off draw on top, just so you can see the center, where that center is going to be on this object, to make sure it's right on top of the geometry. Okay, great. So from here we can go ahead and make this a box, turn on center marker, again so we can clearly see where that center is. Drop the size of this, let's say to about 1.5. Okay, that fits good. From here we can clone 2 others from these. After we're done with this left side, we can mirror over to the right. So I'm just going to hold down shift and drag. And again, we're making 2 more. So that's what we'll put for number of copies and choose OK. So the second one, we're going to place right along this edge. So we have this mid control. Probably need to bring that back some more and adjust it so that center marker lies right on top of the edge without moving the character's mesh. Okay, great. Now we can head over to this last one and position that at the next edge. Okay. I think that's going to work just fine. So from here, let's say we go ahead and rename these, starting with this one at the end. Simply call this PTENV, being that it's going to be enveloped, underscore L underscore brow skin underscore C01, since it's on the skin of the brow. The ones up here we'll simply just label brow. I'll copy that, go to the next object, and this is going to be B. Copy that, and the first one here will be A. Okay, so now that we have these set up, we can go ahead and clone one of these, bring it up to the brow geometry, and do the similar setup. So going to this A object, I'm just going to hold down shift and drag this up. we can call this L brow, get rid of skin, A01. I'll just bring this forward. Okay, great. Once that's done, again, we'll hold down Shift, drag, and create two more. Start to reposition these. So the one at the very end, that will align at the end of the brow. Careful not to select the character. If you need to, right now we can go to the layer manager and freeze the character. Okay, so I'll just bring this over a little bit more and bring it back, and that's good. Can take care of this mid control. Bring that back. Kind of center it with this brow. Okay, almost there. There we go. Alright, so now that that's done, let's say we rename these. It's going to be B01 and then C. Okay, so we have them renamed. We can go ahead and work on mirroring them across. So selecting each of these, we can head over to our mirror tool. We want to create a copy of these, mirroring over in the x-axis, and we'll start to drag our offset to reposition. I'd say to round this value out, about 9.3 would work. Choose OK, and we'll just double check to make sure everything's in the spot we need it to be in, and it sure is. Okay, great. If anything, I think we could just take this first control here on the right brow and just bring that back. But I think everything else is fine. So from here, we're going to want to rename these. That's going to be R01. Go to the next, do the same. Then after this, we'll go ahead and color code them. Okay, so just a few more here to rename. It's going to be R brow skin B01. And by choosing a sound naming convention, we can quickly go through and even rename objects. There's little to change. Alright, so once this is done, again, we can go ahead and work on recoloring these. So we can start with the right side since we're already here. I'd say we can leave the bottom envelope objects and maybe just recolor the top. So I'll just control click each and use a different shade of green. For this side, let's say we use a darker shade of blue so it's easier to see on the character. And then a lighter shade of blue for the brows. Okay, great. So we have created our initial envelope objects for the character's face. In the next lesson, we're going to go ahead and work on setting up controls to control these.